You might see me always drinking water, and the reason being is it's fantastic to get your mucus moving. And every time I do a video, these are in the bathroom next door. It's like either they're psychic, even though I don't believe in size shits, or I am. But anyway, I'm just coming on because I feel like I'm bored. And why not? Might as well come on for a bit. Fight that boredom, see if there's anyone about. We have been coming on late at night, UK time, so I just thought I'll switch it up a bit. And with it being the start of the weekend, I might come on a little bit earlier. But yeah, I just had my dinner, which was a plate of pasta, nice Parmesan cheese, and I'm getting sick and tired of my dad. I don't know why he does it, but he put peas in the pasta, and I've searched everywhere. I've searched an Italian dish and where my dad's from, Sicily, and he don't put peas in the pasta. So I don't know if my dad had it quite hard back in the day when he lived in Sicily. So to make the meal more nutritious and filling, he threw peas in it. A lot of people like it, peas and pasta, but not for me. It's like putting pineapple on a pizza. It doesn't go. I don't eat peas anyway, but I just don't think they go together very well anyway. So I'm thinking about getting some nice shut-eye today, getting a nice nap in. But I can't shut off at this moment in time, so because I can't shut off, I thought I might as well, what do you call it, I'll fire up a live, see if we get any of our old subscribers on. I've not seen many come to the live channel. If you're there, Richard, let me know. I've not spoke to you for a while. I know you popped up once and you give me the heebie-jeebies because I didn't even know I made you mod, mate. And he popped up and I thought, I've been hacked to you, but it wasn't. It's our old Richard back in the day when we had our campaign going, if you remember. Them mugs were good. I was thinking back to the mugs that we did when I was on the course. I was on a gardening course, and someone said, right, get the cups of teas in. They didn't want to get the cups of teas in anyway, so they brought some mugs in, and then at the end, you know, when they were cleaning up and they were taking the mugs back, well, there was a woman's who works at the garden centre, so they went to take her mug. She went, no, that's mine. So I said, I knew that was a personalised mug. She had like the pictures of the kids on. So yeah, that's what we had. And I don't think many people got these bronchiectasis mugs. I had one, obviously. I think Richard had one. Janet had one, and there was a woman called Dawn. So we didn't even get many out. So it'd be nice if people actually want a bronchiectasis mug. I don't know how I'm going to go about it. Last time we did a GoFundMe and we got a few mugs out from Vistaprint, which was nice. And we had some pictures of people on it. So the person who had bronchiectasis, they sent me a picture of themselves, or it could have been with a partner. And then at the time we had our campaign going, so we had like No Longer Neglected, and it was just nice. It was like a free picture mug. It kept the heat in. Let me tell you that. It kept the heat of your night, you know, cup of tea. But if we had the time, I would have brought it up and shown you. But I'm not messing about. I'm not going down and up and down. And I don't even know if I've got it in this house, to be honest. I think I did my mum one as well. Yeah, the Bronchiectasismustgo t-shirts were terrible. Vistaprint isn't the best place to get a t-shirt printed. It's like a screen print, which is rubbish. And we were talking about prints. Do you like this, guys? Do you like this Jesus with the cross and the lion? Symbolises strength. Strength when people think you ain't got none. And it's quite hard. You can ruminate a lot. You can think a lot. which is a speciality of overthinkers. We ruminate when we're not doing nothing, when we can't be bothered talking, when there's that moment of silence. We ruminate too much, which distorts our thinking, which then affects our mental health. So whenever you are ruminating, that's up to you to say, am I going to sit down and ruminate here, or am I going to do something about it? So it's easier said than done, but I was ruminating, so I come on and done a live. And even if it's only 10 minutes where I'm not thinking about an in particular subject or something that's bothering me or anything that's going to worsen my anxiety, then you can do many things. Yeah, you can do many things, and it's only going to be a temporary fix. It may last half an hour, it may last an hour, but it's going to help you, you know, prolong that rumination, which is the killer of all killers, and which leads to a downward spiral of mental health. Hi Kiki, welcome to the channel. Yeah, so I don't think many doctors out there, you know, when you go into the doctors and you tell them you feel depressed or you feel anxious or you got anxiety, I don't really think they're skilled in it. So they'll just throw tablets at you, or maybe offer you a psychology course. Yeah. Bye, Kiki. That was a quick one. Kiki, do you love me? Yeah. So the thing is, we need to know why we feel depressed, and it's not easy to know. You know, have you ever asked a person why they feel down or they're depressed, and they can't put the finger on it? It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Because if you bang your arm and it hurts, you can say, "Oh, my arm hurts because I banged it." But with depression, it's very hard to just pinpoint why you're feeling low. I think, and then it may lead on to months and years, and then you finally realise why you're feeling depressed and you're feeling low. Yeah, so it is a tricky subject. That's why we have psychiatrists, psychologists, and having having family is good, but you'll notice that family members aren't skilled in psychology. So if you bring something up, someone will say it's in your head. You know, you bring something up, oh, forget about it. Everything's going to be all right. And I think out the three, the best way to go about it is not telling them it's all in their head, not to forget about it, but everything's going to be all right. And I think that Bob Marley song, I think when I heard it from my mum back when I felt very low, them words stuck with me. Because when you work it out, whatever problem you've ever been in life, it turns out to be okay at the end of it. Everything turns out okay. Everything turns out all right. So I think that's what people need to focus on when they're feeling low and down. That, you know, this feeling's not going to last forever. It's just simply not going to last forever. It's going to last for moments. It's going to come back, but it's what's the word, for the foreseeable future. It's here, but it's not to say it's going to last forever. Everything that comes passes. Yeah. So that's what we've got to focus on. And I know it's easier said than done because I'm still under psychology, and you know, I don't have the answers. I'm not a skilled professional, but there's many things that I know that lead on to bettering me. So if I bring a subject up or something where I've been, I'm on the cusp of knowing, but it's just that psychologist telling you that there's a fine line, but really you're on the cusp of it. You know where you're going wrong, and you just sometimes need that extra push. And that could be from a person, that could just be a word, that could just be a sentence, it could just be anything, and it changes the dynamic of your thinking. So that's what you need to work on. How can I change my dynamic of thinking? So I'll give you a scenario. With me, I notice I get down in the lead up to my IV therapy, and that's for two reasons. One, I know something's out of my control and I can't control it, and I know this is coming no matter what I can do. Yeah, I know in the lead up to my IV antibiotic medication that I'm going to feel generally unwell because there's a pattern. That's why I'm on the IV medication. So these are two things that are out of my control, and they're going to constantly happen throughout my life. And this is where I've had to deal with something, because even though you want it to change, yeah, even though you want things to change, you can't make things change. Some things will stay the same. And that's where you've got to, you know, be strong and say, this is what I'm tackling head on. And unfortunately, this is just me, right? But I don't like that approach. This is just me. When you can't change anything, yeah, I guarantee you, this is just me, and this is my what I've been dealt, and this is what I have to deal with. I don't like this is just me bullshit when there's change in a person, and they just say this is me now. All that means is they're settling for the trash they're in. They're settling for, you know, just taking the easy way out because they say this is me now. So there's two different things. You can use that sentence if you can't change the outcome. If you can change the outcome, stop saying them words, right? And that's what I'm going to leave you with. But before I go, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my results and things. So I sent the urine sample off yesterday just to see why these white cells were up. The urine sample come back fine, which I thought it did. I very rarely ever get a kidney infection or anything like that. The sputum samples take about 2 to 3 days. If they come back later than 2 to 3 days, this means they're still growing the bacteria in the lab. So if you've not heard nothing by 3-4 days, normally it's an infection. Now, what I've noticed when I grow an in particular bug, which is Staphylococcus, that my sweat changes the scent of my sweat. So one of my t-shirts were in my bag just the other day, and I took it out and I smelt it, and it smelt okay. So I thought, right, I'm fine, and I must not have this Staphylococcus infection. Well, today I had only had the t-shirt on a little bit, and I went to get it to put it in the wash, and this time I could smell it within an hour of being in my bag. So the chances are I'm probably growing Staphylococcus again, which is absolutely, you know, absolutely bullshit, because I'm on gentamicin that should kill it. So if I'm growing that, it's almost like a few years ago I was colonised with Haemophilus influenza, which was every time showing up in my samples, and then it just never shown in about 3 years. Haemophilus influenza. It seems to be now my colonisation is changing. So it seems to be now that I'm going to be colonised with Staphylococcus or Staph aureus, which is a bit of an annoyance, because out of the two, I'd rather have Haemophilus influenza showing up, because it's the most common, bug. It doesn't attack your body like Staphylococcus or Staph aureus does. So it's a bit of a shame now if I've got a battle this on top of other stuff, but I guess this is what happens. I guess that you get over one thing. So we've kept the Pseudomonas at bay, we've kept the Haemophilus influenza at bay, and now Staphylococcus and Staph aureus is rearing its ugly head. Now, is it environmental? I don't know. I don't know if it's environmental. I have stopped a lot of things what I used to do, so I am cautious with putting my hand inside fish tanks. I've not really been in the hobby of fish tanks anymore, so I can say it's definitely not coming from there. Very, very, very minor if it's coming from there. So where it's coming from, I don't know. Is it coming from contact with people? Is it because I'm going to these appointments and things like that I'm picking it up there? This is why it's pretty rubbish for a lung patient, because people want them to have an active life, and they want them to, they don't want to stay indoors. But when you start trying to do these things, you find yourself become poorly. And it's like, you know, obviously they had these COVID masks to protect people, even though they didn't. But we're almost like that. We're almost like when we go out, we haven't got a mask on or out. All right, mate. So yeah, we haven't got a mask on or anything. So we just need to be under an air conditioning vent. Say for instance, or a bus with an air conditioning vent, an aeroplane, a taxi that's blowing heat towards you, and things like that. Just people have to just breathe, and we can get poorly. And I don't think there's been a lot of research in bronchiectasis, as in that. I think that's more in cystic fibrosis that they know that these people can contaminate people. And I don't think this is going to be a weird one, and I'm going to get this out because my own research says this, so it's not like I've just gone with it. My own research over 7 to 10 years has proved to me that a bronchiectasis patient and a bronchiectasis patient are very unlikely to share each other's bugs, because I've been in a relationship with a partner who had bronchiectasis, and at any one time we never cross contaminated each other. Yeah, we might have got Pseudomonas at the same time. That could have been coincidence, but very rarely did my partner grow a bug that I was growing. To be honest, she hasn't grown many of what I've grown, which goes to show that we're not passing things off. What I think could be happening here, what I think the big picture could be, and I could be completely wrong, but I think when healthy people sort of mix with poorly people, I think because these healthy people, they carry things as well, but because they're healthy and they haven't got restricted lungs, they don't get poorly. So we could be coming in contact with someone, say for instance, who's carrying these things on them, and they're passing them to us, which sounds a bit weird. Why don't we get poorly off each other, but we get poorly off the healthy person? it might be just coincidence, or it might be that we're more open to shaking hands with this person, getting closer to this person, because we look at them as a healthy person. Whereas if we seen someone sneezing on the bus or someone coughing in our faces, we'd probably run a mile or do this so we don't get poorly. So I think that could be a possibility. And these healthy people, they go to gymnasiums, they go everywhere and everywhere. They hold the bus rails, they do everything. And we then touch the bus rails, we then breathe the same air they breathe. And I'm just wondering if it is a strong possibility, that we are getting poorly off healthy people. And I know that sounds strange, but I've got to put it out there, I've got to put it out there. So I'm going now, guys. I'm going to love you and leave you, salute you from the headquarters, and I'll see you when I see you. It might be tonight, it might be next week, but it certainly won't be through the window. And if it is, phone the fucking police. I'm out of here.